Dfine Nation, and welcome to another episode of Define Your Health with Danielle Girdano, strength through knowledge. And guys, look, I am super stoked about this. You know that I am totally all about new technology that does not harm the body and lets us live healthier, longer, stronger lives. And that is exactly what we're going to tackle today. Thermography. Have you ever heard of it? Do you know what it is? Do you know why it can be beneficial? Well, I have somebody that can give you all of those answers. Our very special guest today is Kristen Ward. Kristen, you are an ND doctoral candidate. You are a certified thermographer, and you have 20 plus years experience in natural healthcare. I'm excited that you're here. Thank you so much for being here, first and foremost.
Thanks for having me.
And you know what? And I love this topic that we're talking about. It is it's just cool. It's just cool. So, for those who don't know what thermography is, what the heck is thermography?
Thermography is a way of determining how well your body's functioning. It tests the temperature differentials in your skin. So basically, we just sort of can tell from how your body responds to getting cold, how well things are working underneath the skin, which are the organs.
So it's basically how well the body's actually working in relation to everything in the body. Is that a good way to say that?
That kind of works for me, yeah. So basically, body systems work together to maintain what we in biology call homeostasis. All those biology majors will know what that is. And all those high school students, homeostasis is where your body tries to keep the same temperature, 98.7 degrees, all the time, because that's what's comfortable for us. And so when the body's not able to maintain that temperature, then we know that there's something going on underneath the area where it's not producing that same temperature.
So if it's not producing that same temperature, then the test is going to tell you there's what? There's blockages, there's masses, there's what? What exactly, what does it actually show you? How does it actually show you that there's something wrong? Maybe that's a better way for me to say it.
So the cool thing is this technology started with the military, where they were taking camera readings of various structures to see whether there were living things inside. That's how it started, and that was after World War II, in that time period. Then there were some German doctors. They have fancy names, Jutta and Arno, and the last name is Rust. They were family. They were married.
Ooh, dentist. I just got a chill. Ooh. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
They were a dentist and a doctor, and they worked together, and what they did is they determined that when the temperature readings are taken at that skin level, when there's a difference, they were able to map people that had differences in the various areas, and that showed, they went on and showed how there were pathological blood tests, there were nervous tests, there were x-rays that they could show that those diseases were the same in people that had those same temperature patterns that happened over time. So, for example, if you had a really cold stomach area, they would find that people that had that same cold stomach area would have had another problem with it, like a bacterial infection or a yeast infection. And that way, over thousands of patients in the 50s, they're able to make what they call signature patterns.
Okay.
And those signature patterns are the way the body maps those temperature readings and what happens down the road if those are not taken care of.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. Now, a thermogram actually shows bacterial infections, viral infections, heavy metals, correct?
Right.
It's a host of different things that can pick up.
So it picks up thyroid disorders, it picks up female reproductive hormonal disorders, it picks up prostate dysfunction, all of that based on the way that the body is able to maintain those temperature readings at the various areas. And it's based on all those thousands of patients that they did in the 50s that Jutta and Arno Rust put through all those tests, those blood tests, those x-rays, those everything.
Okay, so so one of the things that absolutely just blew me away when I was first learning about this type of medical technology, it can pick up illnesses and or disorders 7 to 10 years before what I would consider traditional medical testing could pick up, correct?
Right. And the way...
That's fascinating. I mean, 7 to 10 years. I mean, right? Because, I mean, how many times do you hear of somebody, all of a sudden they had a heart attack, or all of a sudden they're diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, or all of a sudden something, 7 to 10 years. I mean, that blows my mind.
Well, the way it does that is that your body can work less than optimal functioning for a long time before those structural changes take place.
Okay.
When a tumor starts growing, it takes 7 to 10 years of multiplying before it's large enough to get picked up on those structural tests, like the traditional ones. So like mammograms, like x-rays, MRIs, those are structural tests. They will show you the structure of the liver, the stomach, the breast. So a structural test shows things like a bone break, things like a growth that should not normally be there. For example, a tumor.
Okay.
Then, of course, they take the biopsies and they'll see, is it a malignant tumor? Is it a benign tumor? Our test shows a functioning test. So if you had a tumor and your body didn't necessarily have a problem with it being there, it worked around it, it would not necessarily show up on our test.
Okay.
It's only going to show up if it's a problem tumor.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it helps take away that worry. How many people have had to have that test done and then they worried until the results come back? But really, I mean, the part that I'm most fascinated about is, from what I'm understanding of what you're saying, these structural tests say, hey, this is a snapshot, and once it's really bad, we can tell you it's there, versus, look, you've got a problem that's coming and you need to change some things or the problem is going to develop. And I think that's the main advantage, is you have that, for lack of, a term, a crystal ball, or not a crystal ball, but at least you have someone that's saying, hey, halt, there might be danger ahead, versus, oh my God, now the danger's here, now I'm in catastrophe mode.
That's right. That's the beautiful thing about this test, is it gives you a huge opportunity to look at areas that you can address and you can change. You can take advantage of that, like you said, crystal ball, to say, okay, if I continue on this road where I am, there is a strong possibility that I'm going to go down take a bad turn. Whereas if you know that, you can choose to change. You can take your lifestyle, your future in your hands and make positive choices.
And probably a lot less expensively, not that expenses, if it's your life, it's your life, but, when something catastrophic is diagnosed, a lot of times there's a tremendous amount of expense, which can probably be avoided as well, too, by making those small changes along the way.
Well, yeah, if you look at what goes into cancer treatment, let's just put it that way. Cancer treatment is extremely expensive.
It absolutely is.
It would be really nice if we never had to go there. So,
let alone the toll on the family, the emotional toll, the time off of work, the trips back and forth to different doctors and hospitals and clinics and this and that, and it could all be completely avoided.
That's right.
Time is your friend.
And not to mention the stress that puts everybody under, which in turn feeds feeling bad.
Well, okay, we're going to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, I really want to get into how the test is done, and actually another just fascinating point about what the test doesn't do. And I mean that in a good way. I know she's looking at me like, oh my God, what do you know that I don't know? In a good way. And so remember, Dfine Nation, this segment is brought to you by the Highway for Health Foundation. Childhood obesity and bullying are preventable epidemics. Visit our friends today at highwayforhealth.org. That's highwayforhealth.org. Hi, this is Danielle from Define Your Health with Danielle Girdano's Strength Through Knowledge radio show. Something that is near and dear to my heart is the absolute epidemic of childhood obesity in the United States. When I was a kid, my dad used to say, if you're not willing to change something or do something about it, you don't have the right to complain. Well, guess what? I'm doing something about it. The Highway for Health project is a project to call attention to this epidemic, this preventable epidemic of childhood obesity, to give parents the tools and the resources needed to educate and make the best choices possible for the next generations of Americans. Help me. Help me help the future. Visit highwayforhealth.org today. Again, that's highwayforhealth.org today. highwayforhealth.org.
For 20 years, Nordic Naturals has been dedicated to making the best fish oil on the planet. Their motivation? The heartfelt belief that a single nutrient can change lives. Their love for what they do and the people they do it for drives them to do it right at any cost. That means products that are outrageously fresh, obsessively tested, and passionately perfected. Products that taste so pure, you'll love them. Try Nordic Naturals award-winning omega-3s today and taste pure love. Available at natural product stores nationwide or at nordicnaturals.com.
We are back to Dfine Nation with our very special guest, Kristen Ward, who is a ND doctoral candidate, certified thermographist, 20 plus years of experience. I'm so happy you're here. But I'm even happier about the things that this test doesn't do and doesn't have. Talking about thermography and the benefits. And it's really a new type of test. It's not a new test, but it may be new to a lot of people. There's no radiation.
Right.
It's non-invasive.
That's right.
And for you ladies out there, there's no mashing and pushing and squeezing, and y'all know what I'm talking about when we talk about structural tests. It is painless. Some people have described it like an eraser being pressed against the body. So all of these things are correct that I just said, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how exactly do you do the test? I mean, how is it painless and non-invasive and no radiation, but yet it's so accurate and so beneficial for people to have this done? Again, 7 to 10 years of warning before something catastrophic happens. Most people would jump at that. So how exactly is this test done?
So basically what we ask you to do is 24 to 48 hours before you come in, we ask you to refrain from any kind of alternative homeopathic medications. You can continue to take your prescription medications, but we ask you to stay off of all of that. Have a great night's sleep. Don't drink any alcohol. Have a light meal at night. The next morning, don't take a shower. Wear long sleeves, button-down shirt, long pants, shoes and socks. Yes, even in 104-degree weather in the summer. Yeah. We do need you to show up like that. And then what we do is we have you relax for a few minutes in the upstairs. Oh yeah, I forgot. No coffee and a very light breakfast in the morning.
And just to clarify, so the no shower, the no activity, the no coffee, that's because you don't want to shoot the body temperature up or down, correct? I mean, that's the whole premise behind it.
Right. Absolutely. And a lot of people will self-medicate with coffee if they have adrenal fatigue.
Okay.
So we don't want that. We don't want you to self-medicate.
Good baseline, right? We want to make sure that we're
absolutely
as accurate as possible.
Yes. And so when you come in, we have you just kind of relax and get used to the temperature of the room, comfortably warm. And while you're waiting, we go ahead and enter all the information into this really fancy, humongous little tiny laptop computer. And then we ask you to come in the room, and while you're standing, we take the temperature readings at about 120 spots.
Now, okay, why standing?
Standing is a light stressor.
Okay.
And it also keeps your body engaged.
Okay, fair. Now, 120 points. Where are those 120 points? I mean, just roughly around the body.
So basically, we concentrate on areas that are in the face and head area, and then on the torso. We don't do the legs and the arms specifically because we can tell how well the circulation is going through those based on the points that we do that are based on the lymphatic points. They're also determined by areas called dermatomes on the skin. And for all of you that want to go Google that, there's plenty of maps you can find on dermatomes. There's even a coloring page on the internet that you can use. And those dermatomes, basically what they are is the skin's location for the underlying nerve.
Okay.
And those have been mapped over many, many, many years. It's also somewhat related to the Chinese meridians.
Okay.
So that's all kind of plays together. And so we take those readings. Then we ask you to go down to just your underwear. And at that point, we leave the room. You remain standing for another 10 minutes. And you have a little bit of quiet time. We have reading material in there for you. And then we come back and we do those readings again. And that's as stressful as it is. I think a lot of people, their hardest part is they walk in and they say, well, I didn't think it was going to be such a small machine. I was expecting some huge, big camera. And that's just not the case. It's just a small little laptop.
Well, and it's so fast because if I'm not mistaken, you get your results the same day. I mean, just a few minutes after you're actually done with the test, it's generated and someone goes over it with you. So you have some answers before you leave, right?
Absolutely. We use this as a roadmap, and basically we can pinpoint some areas that you might want to address sooner than later. But absolutely, you don't have to leave worried. You get a pretty good idea of baselines of, like I said, some areas that you can use to address with your healthcare provider or however you choose to do that.
And this really is a nice marriage, or it has the great potential to have a nice marriage between traditional medicine, white coats, as I like to call them, and holistic medicine. This really is kind of a merge point or a fork in the road where they can come together.
Absolutely. Because basically modern medicine uses its own techniques to address similar issues. So by using thermography in addition to mammograms, 3D mammograms, or blood tests, or whatever other tests you're going to use, you get a roadmap that you and whoever you choose to do your treatment can use to make you feel better and to have your body function better.
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I want to have 7 to 10 years on my side. I mean, and I'm not old enough to start having mammograms yet, but honestly, it seems like this test, I mean, it gives you so much information. It's what, a 7-page report, correct? I mean,
Right.
and there's graphs and there's numbers and there's written explanation. I mean, any way that you are stimulated to be able to understand and absorb information, this test covers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone could benefit from having a thermogram and getting a roadmap in place for how to take care of yourself better and to gain those 7 to 10 years back in a quality way.
Exactly. Quality over quantity. How many times have you guys heard me say that? Okay, we got to cut away to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into a little bit more of the specifics. And remember, Dfine Nation, this segment is brought to you by the Thermography Center of Dallas. Your body is the most important thing you have, and you only get one. So schedule your thermogram today. Visit them at thermographycenter.com. That's THERMOGRAPHY center.com. Hey, Dfine Nation, this is Danielle. Now, you guys know that I am an avid cyclist, and I'm attempting my second world record later this year. One thing years of cycling has taught me is maintenance and repairs to your bike are crucial for safety, which is why the only brand I use is Park Tool. Park Tool is the leader in long-lasting, dependable, and innovative cycling tools. They set the standard for all other manufacturers to follow. When your bike and your safety matters, choose Park Tool, where excellence is the standard. You can find Park Tools at Richardson Bike Mart in Frisco, Dallas, and Richardson. Or you can also visit them at parktool.com. That's PARKTOOL.com.
This is Bobby Schwartz, BeIconicStyle.com. Studies show that it takes a woman on average 45 minutes every day to figure out what to wear. Okay, the bad part of that is it isn't just the time, but it's the stress that goes with this. The craziness, and this is the beginning of your day, and it is no way to start the day. We have developed in our styling business a system that will help you get dressed quickly, beautifully and easily every day so that you feel like $1 million and you are not wasting time and being stressed out. So we call this our casual daily checklist. We also have a business daily checklist, and we are going to have those on the site. So when you go afterward, click on it, print it up, and my hope is that you will keep it in your closet and use it every single day and develop a habit of doing this. It is going to change your dressing world. Our 10-second tip is be sure to use these daily dressing checklists every single day. 21 days makes a habit, and if you get in the habit of this, I promise you, you will simplify your dressing. This is Bobby Schwartz, BeIconicStyle.com.
We are back to Fine Nation with our very special guest, Kristen Ward, who is an ND doctoral candidate, certified thermographist, and has more than 20 years experience in the natural health field. And we are talking about thermograms. Now, I think we've established this far that this is a really cool test, right? That gives you an immense amount of information that literally can save your life.
Absolutely.
So, why do more people not get them? What is kind of some of the common, I don't want to say fears, but maybe some of the obstacles, maybe why people don't get them done on a regular basis when really they should?
Well, some of the excuses that we get are it takes too long.
It's 30 minutes.
I agree with that one.
It's your life.
It's 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes. We start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we are in operation from Monday through Saturday. So we're trying to be as flexible as we can. You could take your lunch hour. It'd still be out in 30 minutes. It's pretty much 30 minutes from beginning to end.
What's next?
Some people don't really seem to want to know what their thermograms say.
Now, is that just a fear that they think something's wrong, or what? I mean, that's a psychological aspect, I think.
Absolutely. But, the way we operate, you don't have to get your results if you don't want them. If you want just the answers to have somebody tell you, here's your plan, this is what you need to do, you're welcome to have that.
I see. Okay.
So that's really not a good excuse either.
Okay, let's just face it. There is no good reason. Just get your butt in and get one scheduled. I mean, I can't imagine that this amazing technology is out there, and go do it. I mean, just go do it. There's no valid excuse. It's like getting your annual physical. Just go get it done. Whether you schedule it next week, next month, or, 2 months from now, get it scheduled.
And that's actually a really valid point. It should be part of your annual physical. We actually suggest that. We also say that if you're going to be doing some active correcting on things, you might want to have it even more than once a year. That way you get a little bit of an idea how things are going. Since there is such a huge timeline, the 7 to 10 years, it's hard to tell sometimes whether what you're doing is working. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to have to wait for a whole year while you're trying to, let's say, work on your thyroid.
Agreed.
So if you can come in before you as a baseline, start working on your thyroid for a few months, come back and see how it's going.
Well, and one of the things that amazes me, another one of the things, I need to make a list here apparently because I'm just blown away by this technology and how beneficial it is, but it also goes through the health of the teeth. And it goes about it, again, talking about the difference between that structural and that functional test, a different way than maybe a dentist would look at it for more information. I mean, beneficial information that's tied to organs and functionality of the body. Can you just take a couple minutes, just talk about the dental part of that? Because that is just amazing to me that a test like this can also bring that in.
Yeah, so your body uses your teeth not only to chew your food. It's a repository for minerals, and it's also a really great hiding place for subclinical infections and for viruses and bacteria. And those are the things that show up on our test really, really well.
Okay.
Dentists take x-rays. That's a structural test. Okay. It shows cavitations. It shows pockets in the gums. Those are all structural things. But if you have a microscopic virus or microscopic bacteria that are eating away at your gingiva, your gums, our test will show that your body is struggling to keep that in check. So with the roadmap that you get from us, you can take a better look at what's going on in your mouth.
That just, it fascinates me. And so, in the practitioner that you can choose to have your tests sent to could also be a dentist, correct? I mean, you could also have it sent there?
Absolutely. We in the modern day have done so much to fix our teeth by putting cavities and root canals, taking out teeth when there's overflow. We've done a lot of that in modern medicine. And I think we're reaping the rewards and or detriment of that in our mouths now. As those old silver fillings disintegrate, the only place for those toxins to go are through our system. And if it's something toxic like a mercury, we just absorb it, and it gets hidden very deeply in our tissues.
Well, and even the cardiovascular nature, because the teeth are also tied to people with possible heart attack and things of that nature. I mean, that's cool stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you've already got things showing up on your thermogram that are cardio related, dental work is an extremely important component in making sure that the body's functioning gets back to where it needs to be to make you feel really, really good.
Well, I'm telling you what, Kirsten, we're taking away all excuses because we're actually going to give away a thermogram to a listener because there should be no excuses, and they just need to pick up the phone and call or go to the website and schedule. And it's just, you got to do it, guys. This is your health. This is technology that is, I mean, it's out there. Utilize it. Make the most of it. Share it with your friends. Share it with loved ones. I mean, you know, I always say when people get to the end of their lives, it's not, oh, I'm going to miss living. It's, I'm going to miss birthdays and anniversaries and Christmases and Thanksgivings. That is what living is. When you truly live and you don't just exist. And if there's a way for you to make you or your family members live a longer, stronger, really live and not just exist life, that's what it's all about. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. Come on in. Let's take care of you.
Let's take care of it, and let's take care of our loved ones, everything. All right, Dfine Nation, remember to check out our social media pages as we will be giving away that $500 prize pack with a trivia question from today's show, and that thermogram will be included in that prize pack. Thank you so much for coming. I truly, truly enjoyed having you, and I think this has been an awesome show.
Thanks. It's been a lot of fun.
Until next time, Dfine Nation, motivated, dedicated, and highly recommended. Bye-bye.